Jesus.
All right. That was Ubaba uNtokozo ngongoma izindlela zakhe ziphakeme. Igama lami uZodwa Msimang KaNsibande. Come to Thriving in Abundance Talk, and of course namhlanje we are hosting our Woman Thrive series. And the spotlight is on umama Palesa Phili, who is the CEO of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Welcome, Siswam.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you for the
You're good.
Fine.
It's spring.
One of those days that are not too good, but I'll be fine.
Because you have landed Thriving in Abundance Talk. It's all right. Lana siya level izinto, we level mountains. So when you sit in that chair, you must know that every mountain has been leveled and every sea is open for you.
Amen.
Induku enhle lesayigawula esizweni ezizweni sayigawula ezizweni le nduku sikwaZulu Natal. So brief me, just tell me about where you grew up.
So, Palesa, I grew up in Soweto, and in Durban and Meadowlands.
Yeah.
And then for my high school, I went to a boarding school in Lesotho called Mushosho 2 High School.
Okay.
My cousin and I think it was just an unfortunate situation that my parents my mom was sick, and I was then I was staying with my aunt. So my aunt had a daughter who was a couple of years older than me.
All right.
And she said, "No, you guys are getting too hectic. The best thing that I must do is you guys must just go to boarding school and learn how to become independent." So that was a very good start. And yeah.
You know, I like these stories of how most of us went to boarding school eventually, because also my mom was a nurse, and she was like, angiboni kahle bangana iduty la. Ngathi abantu bakhona kanti abantu sebedidile. Oh baba, you know how we used to do things growing up, sometimes, but it's always an honor and a privilege when you are able to get the kind of education available for us ngaleso sikhathi. Ngiyayazi ke ike ngiyayifunda ko Lesotho nako Swaziland isingisi siphuma ngamakhala. Isingisi siphuma ngamakhala.
Depends, my sister.
All right. And then growing up, tell me about you then coming back from boarding school usubuyela ke manje usuyoqala university. Just walk us through that journey.
Okay. So, I mean, coming back from boarding school, it was quite tough for me. Like I said, I think my mom was, sick at a young age, and, she passed away when I was 18. So, having a sick mom and trying to be a teenager, it was very, very difficult. I must say, very hard. So I was luckily able to pull through, pass my high school. And then I did a diploma in business information systems in Rosebank. And then from there, I also did my MBA at University of Johannesburg.
Okay.
I also did an advanced business management program at Wits Technikon.
All right.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So mentioning that, mom sick and also mom passing away when I was 18, it was very tough for me. So I had to start working part-time, even if I was studying.
Yeah.
So it was not easy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've waited. I've been a waitress.
Yes.
Back in the days. And I remember my very first job was working part-time at a company where we were selling gutters. The name of the company was called Progress Aluminium Guttering. I still remember we used to go through telephone directories.
Yeah.
Cold calling people literally. Very tough. We used to get sworn at, and sometimes we used to get sales.
Yeah.
So that really built up my character, and it really, really helped.
Yes, that builds character. I like this story. This story, resilience. there are a lot of young people that would probably have experienced loss, as we have just come from isikhathi esinzima kakhulu se-COVID in the past 2 years. And there is probably a teenager that would be watching us namhlanje alalele isistory sakho of who might have lost a parent, and in losing a parent they have lost hope. So ngiyathanda ukuthi ngibuyele kancane kulokho ukuthi ke perhaps you can just simupha umphako, you know, the 3 things that you will say to that young person watching us today who is feeling like, you know what, my mother is no longer here, so what's the point?
You know, the first thing is it's very difficult. Like I said, my mom started getting sick. You know, I'd say maybe around about when I was around maybe 9, 10 years old. You know, she started getting sick. So it was not easy.
Yeah.
So, you know, the first thing is, you know, when you're a young person growing up, you need that unconditional love from your mother more than anything. And losing them at a young age, people tend to, sometimes you live with different family members. Others are good, others are not so good about you, you know, to you. Others wish you well, and others don't wish you well. So I think what I learned very much is that I had to really grow up very quickly and be clear in terms of what is it that I want to achieve.
Clarity.
So you need to always have that goal. That should be the first thing. Have that goal and say, what is it that I want to get to? And you must always also, too, remember is that, you know, people's expectations would be, this one doesn't have a mother, nobody's looking after them, and therefore they're going to end up being useless. Yeah. So you need to overcome all that negative energy, all those negative things that are thrown at you, and say, I am going to become great and I'm going to do well. And the third part is, you know, determination. And having respect for yourself and the next person becomes very, very important. Because when you respect yourself, you will not do certain things that will destroy your future. So respecting yourself, don't go and throw yourself at men, don't go and do things that are unnecessarily going to bring you know, going to affect your life or the plans that you want to have. So be focused, have that focus, have that determination, and say, this is what I want to get to. And you'll get there. It's the same thing as poverty. People that are growing in a poverty-stricken environment, it doesn't mean that you're going to end up like that. It's up to you. You need to tell yourself to say, I'm not going to end up like this. I'm going to be even better.
Yes. I am not going to end up like that. I will definitely get better. I am not going to end up like that. I am going to get better. Namhlanje, she is the CEO of one of the largest chamber, not just in South Africa, but in the African continent. Take us through your first formal employment opportunity.
So my first formal employment opportunity is I worked at a company called Epsilon Technologies. In those days, IBM as a company started its distribution model. So Epsilon was the first distributor for IBM's PCs and notebooks and you know some of the other products. So I worked there coming in from an IT background. I came in there, my job was to assemble computers, PCs. And you know, load the software, do troubleshooting, and make sure that that PC works.
All right.
That was what I was initially employed to do.
Okay.
A couple of months
Sounds
later,
interesting because people are now, everybody's talking IT.
Yes.
And some of them, they want to start my basics.
Absolutely.
The basics are important, young people.
Absolutely.
The foundations.
Absolutely. You always have to start at the basics. So that really helped me. I think a couple of months into that job, my boss, my boss then saw me and said to me, you know, I think I'm looking at your character. Maybe we can move you into sales.
Wow.
So a couple of months later, then I moved into the sales environment. Then I was able then to sell the IBM equipment to the IBM dealers that wanted to sell the IBM products, but also at the same time we had the clone machines that we also were selling to these dealers, which was slightly cheaper. From there, then I had a 6 months a stint at Intel, where I
Okay.
had a 6 month contract there.
Yeah.
At that time, Intel wanted to promote, so there was a lot of, in the black market, there was a lot of fake CPUs, you know, a
Yes,
CPU,
yes.
which is the heart of a computer.
Yeah.
So there was fake CPUs that were very prevalent in the black market there. So Intel wanted to encourage people, have a program that incentivizes people to buy the proper,
Yeah.
CPUs, so that they don't lose that market share.
Yeah.
6 month stint there, and the nice thing is that 6 month stint, when they employed me, they said to me, "We're going to take you to, you're going to go for training in Italy, in Milan."
Oh, that sounds good to me.
So imagine,
Even if it's just for that.
so imagine an orphan. By that time now I'm an orphan.
Yeah.
Here is the first opportunity to travel, to Europe.
Yeah.
I was very, very excited. Went there, did the training, came back, and then, of course, after the 6 months, when the contract ended, then when the program ended, when they saw that the market was picking up, then I moved to Dell Computers.
Oh, yes.
So now I've
The
got
good old Dell.
yes.
Yeah.
So now by then I had the sales experience. Remember, from now Epsilon, a bit of Intel.
Yes.
So now I was an account manager there at Dell.
Okay. Now you're confident. You can
Now
do
I'm
this
confident, but some of the challenges we come across.
Yeah.
I had the most horrible boss.
Talk to us about that, because there are a lot of people who seem to struggle sometimes, even if they know how to do the job, but their immediate superior is giving them a hard time. And I would imagine this is when now? The early 2000s? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Yes, they're hearing us, but they're not really seeing us.
It was very tough.
Yeah.
It was very tough, having somebody that, we didn't get along with, and he put unnecessary and undue pressure,
Yeah.
on me, and unfair expectations.
Yes.
There I was an account manager, but I was an internal sales account manager. I had unrealistic targets, that were given. At that, when you're young, sometimes you're thinking, yeah, I can achieve anything and everything else. Now you come into an environment in the job, you're like, I've got unrealistic targets. There's no way that, these targets I can be able to achieve sitting in the office and cold calling people to buy their technology. So that was very, very, it was quite a tough journey for me.
It is.
But, when I look back in terms of the treatment that man gave me and how he treated me, I actually would like to thank him today.
Yeah. What kept you going at the time?
So what kept me going is I never shared with you, Zodwa, but I'm a born again Christian.
Yeah.
So
Same.
When you remember, I'm an orphan. I don't have parents that I can run to. Yes, I had my aunts there and my uncles, but it's never the same, right?
Absolutely.
So who is your strength
Yeah.
in any times of challenges?
Yeah.
It's God.
Ah.
So I looked up to him. He gave me the strength to overcome
Yeah.
and go through,
Yeah.
these challenges that I went through.
Yeah.
And during those challenges, IBM saw me, and they gave me an opportunity.
Wow.
And I had my dream job.
Yeah, ngiyakhumbula ngalezi ayikhathi bewutrenda ku-IBM.
And it was the company to
Of
work for.
course,
When
if you're in the IT space, yeah.
if you don't work for IBM,
Yeah.
then hey,
Wow, all right.
So-
What an amazing God we serve. I think we must shout out to our almighty God, the one who
Absolutely.
provides for us, Jehovah Jireh. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So joined IBM, and then from IBM, then I was headhunted to, once you're in that industry and they start seeing that you're doing well, I was headhunted to go and join Hewlett Packard.
All right.
At Hewlett Packard, that's where I started my journey of being a manager.
Yeah.
People manager.
Yeah, yeah.
And very interesting, Zodwa, is that my first job as a people manager is I had to manage highly technical skilled people. So I was a manager for the technical services team.
All right.
Highly technical, that were looking after the the HP servers and storage platforms. So
In other words, you manage my nets.
yes,
And that can be quite tricky sometimes.
absolutely, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and then I mean I was a 25-year-old
But
young
that's
girl.
beautiful. I mean, like, hello, someone who is watching us today at 25 years. She was already a manager. This is a beautiful story.
Thank you very much, but it was not easy.
Yeah.
So what kept me going there is I realized that I needed a stronger support system, which I think it was what helps me today.
Yes.
In terms of strong support system. So when I was at IBM, there's a lady who was the HR director. Her name is Mpoli Tlape.
Polyclabe.
So she was the HR director at IBM then, and she believed very much in mentorship.
Yes.
So she
The way
chose
to
to
go.
be my mentor.
Beautiful.
And then even later on, then I had a lady called Wendy Bloom still there at IBM who was also, so at IBM I had two mentors of great dynamic ladies that really were
yes,
pushing.
yes.
So when I was there now at Hewlett Packard,
Yeah.
again, mentorship was still a
Yes.
very important, part.
Yes,
So
yes.
here's a young girl, 25 years old. I had to now manage old men, and at that time it was majority old Africans, white
white.
men in their 40s and 50s.
Yo,
And
yeah.
here's a young 25-year-old girl that is supposed to be their boss. So
Fun times.
fun times. So that is where I needed strength. Where do I
Yeah.
start? What do I do? And through the support of my mentors, I was able to really do a very good in terms of that role.
Yes.
So much that I came across most recently somebody who was sharing with me that, hey, we interviewed a guy that used to work for you at HP, and the guy said, one of the best managers I've had is Palesa Phili. So my surname was Phili.
Mapetla,
Is Palesa Phili, and she was my, one of the best managers that I had. And I wouldn't have been able to even get to that stage if I didn't have the support of the mentors.
All right.
And
All
the
right.
guidance of the mentors.
All right. So maybe we need to talk briefly about that, about the mentorship. We know it assisted you. I've also had mentors along my professional journey. And what would you like to say to someone who is maybe not sure what to do in their career right now because maybe they have some kind of challenges and they are not able to find the correct mentor? How do they go about finding the right mentor?
So for me, most of my mentors actually said they would like to mentor me because they saw potential.
Yes.
So I was very fortunate in that because one of my other mentors.
It's an
was-
important point because I think also some of us that have had the privilege of someone mentoring us, we now are meant to be paying it forward.
Absolutely.
So because maybe a young person there will be shy to approach, and when you identify potential as an executive, maybe it's the one, maybe it's us that are meant to, lend a hand and say, we are here if you need us.
Yeah, absolutely, Zodwa. So, I mean, I was fortunate in that way. I mean, there's another mentor that I had, Oliver Fortain. He was the CEO of HP then. He also said, I want to mentor you.
All
So I think
right.
through the mentorship and the build up that the mentorship has given to me, I also took it upon myself to also mentor a lot of young people and a lot of young ladies, which
Beautiful.
today when I look back
Yes.
and see where they are, it's absolutely amazing. So when it comes to even career guidance and stuff, remember there's a difference between coaching and mentorship.
Yes, yes.
So the mentor is there to advise you.
Yeah.
The coach is there to make you, make your own decisions.
Yes, yes,
So,
just to guide, yeah.
absolutely. So when you have a mentor that has got, great achievements, great experience, and they can share the wisdom with you.
Yeah,
It's priceless.
it is.
And I spend my time with the young women that I mentor, doing the same, sharing wisdom, not just even at work, but also life. There's so many things that life throws at us,
Yes.
especially as women,
Yes.
in the professional spaces.
Yes.
So it's always so good to have, different types of mentors.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a career mentor that will guide you about your career. I always say a career mentor is so good that if I have a problem at work and I come and share with you, Zodwa, as my friend, or I go to my mom or my family member, they're always going to be, they're not going to be objective.
Yes.
They're always going to be on my side
That's
and
true.
blame the next person.
That's correct.
The mentor, you know, the whole idea is for the person to be objective.
Yes.
And give you feedback. And the most important thing is you need to be mature enough to, you know, accept that feedback,
Accept.
because that is what is going to help you to grow.
It's actually usually constructive feedback. So it's not there to destroy or kill you or make you look like you are incompetent, but it's there to build you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, I'm a very spiritual person as well.
Yes.
I've also got a spiritual mentor.
Yeah.
So in terms of my journey in spirituality,
Yes.
what I go through,
Yes.
I've got a spiritual mentor that is there to guide me,
Yeah.
to make sure that I follow the right path
Yeah.
in my spirituality.
Yeah.
And over and above that, you know, being a married woman as well,
Yeah.
I've got a mentor of, you know, an older woman,
Yeah.
who's always very objective. When I'm wrong,
Yeah.
you know, she sits me down and says to me, "So yeah, better man." And I take it with love,
Yes.
because
yes.
I know that, you know, they are guiding me in the right
Yes,
way, and they will not
yes.
just agree with me, even when I'm doing
Yes,
things that are
yes,
not proper.
yes.
So mentorship is very, very important, to have mentors in all aspects of your life,
Yeah.
to give yourself a support a structure.
Yeah.
More especially for the girl child who grew up without parents or doesn't have that support
Yes,
structure.
yes.
You need to find all these other areas to give you the necessary support structure.
The support structure is important, it's critical. In fact, it's imperative. No, so you've touched again manje indaba yokuthi kanti ushadile. Ngeke ngasho ngasile nduku sayigawula ezizweni. Talk to us a little bit about your family.
So I've got a very wonderful husband.
Amen.
Very, very supportive. You know, it's not easy to be a wife that is all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, always at events, always at this, you know, that and the other, and lots of traveling.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm really grateful to God that He gave me a very supportive husband.
Yes, yes.
Who's there to support me.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
make sure that whatever I do in my career, I don't have guilt trips.
Yeah.
Because
Hey.
naturally, as a mom, because I'm a mom of two boys as well, as a mom, especially when you start doing a lot of traveling
Yeah.
and not being too much there at home, you start having guilt trips.
Yes,
You know, oh my
yes,
God, I should have been there.
Yeah.
And having a supportive husband or
Yeah.
partner
Yeah.
that is there to help you throughout this journey
Yeah.
is very, very important.
Yeah, yes. We'd like to send a shout out lapho to Phili. A good supporting structure. Go baba. Kubalulekile ukuthi nikwenze lokho, ukuthi nikwenze support omama in their journeys, in their professional lives. All right. So now let's come back to how do you then balance work and personal, you know, because a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
You have spoken, yes, it's good to have a partner that is supportive. I think that's key, in fact, you know, but then when I imagine now, because you need to be able to show up
Yep.
decisively in
Yep.
both areas.
Yeah. So I think we have to start off with the fact that, you know, how do you define yourself? How do I define myself? So first, before my career, I am a wife and I'm a mother.
All right.
So that's what is the most important role for me.
Yes, yes.
And then comes my career, then thereafter.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important that even if I've got a very hectic and busy career, I'm still a mother and I'm still a wife. And I'm still a makoti.
That's another one.
Another one at the end of the day, you know.
Yes.
So the supportive husband that I'm talking about, I was very lucky that when I got married, he told my mother-in-law and my father-in-law that, you know what, my wife is not the kind of magoti. Don't expect my wife to come and do e-washing and do all those, you know, things. But, you know, she will give you a whole lot of other support.
Yeah.
And she will make sure that she gets people that can do that for you.
Absolutely.
Don't expect her to come and do that, because the kind of career that she's in, it's very, very different.
Yeah.
So the balance is very important. So again, when I spoke about, I'm going to come back to support structure, because that helps me with the work-life balance.
Yeah.
So I've got the support structure, you know, in terms of the mentorship. But at the same time, as a mom, I mean, somebody needs to take my kids to school. They need to pick them up, and the homework needs to be done. So I make sure that my kids don't feel that mom is not sometimes always physically there to go and fetch them from school. By the way, for my boys, mom fetches them from school is like Christmas because it never happens.
Yeah,
it happens
we've been
once
there.
in a while. And it's tough, right?
Yes,
so
yes,
the
it
balancing
is.
is just to make sure that you've got the right support structure around you,
Yes.
and not make one feel like the other one is being neglected. For example, I mean, I work very long hours. So I made it a point that at home, I've got a nanny. I've taught her how to cook, how we like things to be done in the house.
Yes.
So I don't need
yes.
to come home
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock and start cooking
Yeah,
when the kids were
no.
supposed to have slept already,
Yeah.
and everybody's supposed to have had dinner.
Yeah.
So balance those kind of things to say,
Yes.
how do I get assistance as well from people to help? I've got somebody that helps my kids with the homework.
Yeah.
I've got an au pair that helps them
Yeah.
with the homework.
Yeah.
And make sure that if tomorrow it's sports day
Yeah.
and mom is wherever,
able.
not able to, the au pair is there.
Yeah.
And, my son doesn't feel left out.
Yeah.
So it's really making sure that we balance and we don't neglect any other.
Yeah.
You don't always have to physically be there.
Yeah.
But let's make sure that if you're not physically there,
Yeah.
there's somebody that is there to actually...
Everything is taken care of. Yeah. All right. Always make sure that everything is taken care of, because you're not going to be able to be there all the time, especially as a professional working mother. So you must make sure that you've got a brilliant support system. What do you do for fun? The girl has got to have some fun at some point. And what do we do for fun? Downtime, Senzan.
Hey, for me, because I really don't have time for downtime, the only thing that makes sense and that helps me to be calm is, that's why I love living here in Durban, by the way. So
Yeah.
walks by the beach, it really helps me in
Yes.
terms of, calming me
Calming,
down,
yeah.
helping me think. And, sometimes if I just want to just forget about everything,
Yes.
go to the movies.
Yeah.
It helps me just forget about a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
Because remember, as much as I work Monday to I'm supposed to work Monday to Friday, it's also weekends as well.
Yes, yes.
And on weekends, I've also got
Yes.
responsibilities of family.
Yeah.
And then I've got then my own, things of reaching, certain, programs that I'm trying to do to assist other people.
Yes, yes.
So there's never time for downtime.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah.
We have to be intentional in creating time for downtime. Because
Absolutely.
we don't want to be burning out.
Absolutely. That is very, very important.
That's very important. That's very important. But like, I agree with you. The walk and the promenade is the best. I also do it quite often because it makes all the difference. All right. Now, coming back to the professional side of things, I know you've worked for the telecommunications space as an executive, but now you are now sitting on a very important chair in the city of eThekwini as the CEO of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Tell us about this journey of yours that, just as you started, then there was COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving from corporate to the Durban Chamber,
Yes.
it is the best decision I made for myself.
Wonderful.
I always felt that, when you work in corporates, and I say this with all the respect, and I love my, corporate companies and, the support and what they gave me, is, when I was in that environment, it was always about the company, right?
Yes.
It was always about driving targets, achieving this, and, never...
Yeah.
For me personally, the bigger picture. How can I, assist in making that impactful difference? So when I joined the Durban Chamber, I realized that actually this is where my heart is. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing that
Yes.
fulfills me spiritually,
Yeah.
that can help me
Yeah.
in terms of achieving all these things. I mean, I always say, even when my husband talks to me and, some of my friends, they say, Aish, there comes the lady who wants to go and save the world.
Why not?
So the passion...
The Bible says we've got power and authority to dominate,
Absolutely.
so we should. And it
Absolutely.
says we should be bold and courageous, so we can't be shy about it. It's
Absolutely.
written in the book.
Absolutely, fully agree with you.
Yeah.
So, of course, when I joined in 2018, it was unfortunate that, I think the very following year, we had floods, but they were not as mild. They were
Yes.
milder,
Yes,
not as bad
yes.
as the ones
Not
that
as
we
bad,
had.
yeah.
And then boom came, COVID.
Yes.
So the role of the Durban Chamber is, I mean, we advocate on matters pertaining to the business community. So our constituency is the business community. So we're not part of government. The easiest example that I normally give in terms of who the chamber is, I always say, you have a union that represents employees, which is like COSATU. They speak on behalf of, unions. You have civil society, NGOs that talk on behalf of civil society.
Yes.
So the businesses also have got chambers that talk on their behalf.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things in terms of policies that government needs to do and change and do things right to ensure that businesses are able to thrive in the economy.
Absolutely.
And at the end, create jobs, the much needed jobs.
Yeah.
So my role being at the Durban Chamber gives me that opportunity to work very closely with, government, put pressure on them to create an enabling environment so that businesses can create jobs.
Yeah.
I always listen to the topic where people say government creates jobs. Government does not create jobs.
And it's an environment, an enabling
they
environment.
need to create an enabling environment for private sector to create these much needed jobs.
Yes.
And how do we also make sure that we look at the informal sector? And get the people in the informal sector to start being formalized and start doing business on this other side as well. So the exciting part about the role of the chamber is, of course, advocacy part.
Yes.
But most importantly, identifying opportunities and encouraging corporates, helping to enable and create environments for corporates to create jobs for young people and women, more, to be more precise. There's a lot of programs that we're doing as the chamber for that. For example, we do enterprise supply development, which is intentionally targeted at businesses, young Black young people, as well as women-owned businesses, to help them, to equip them so they can start doing business, whether to export the products that they would be having, or to start doing business with corporates. Number two, when it comes to even putting pressure on government on enabling, environment, is we all know what happened with the unrest, unfortunately last year, where there was huge destruction of, businesses,
Infrastructure.
And infrastructure. And what has happened is that we have a lot of big businesses rebuilt, but not all of them. And then we had a lot of medium businesses that literally left the province. And some closed down. And security becomes a very important part. So as a chamber, we've got a PPP that we're working on with government to get them to make sure that we start feeling safe and we work better together. What came out from the unrest is that SAPS was not working. So Metro Police, SAPS, private security companies, as well as community policing forums, these four areas were not talking to each other and they were not working together. So everybody was working on their silos. So it then caused the challenge of where things were out of hand and we're not able to control. So we're working on programs right now, and we've seen a lot of good work that is coming from SAPS, led by General Mukwanazi and General Makoba. They're doing exceptional work. When threats are coming to the province, we're now working together, and we've seen the difference that it makes when you're working collectively together. So there's a security element that we're working on. It's still work in progress, but we'll get there. Another key one that we're working on right now is the one of infrastructure, especially water, sanitation, and stormwater systems. We've seen that, after the floods, things have gone worse. Already, our water and sanitation infrastructure was collapsing. Because it was not easy to get new developments to come in on board, because the infrastructure was last upgraded in 1994.
A while ago. All right. So then the chamber is trying to assist.
We're really working on that. Right now we've got private investors that are coming and prepared to invest in the infrastructure, so that at least we can have investments, the jobs can start being created. And we're also going to be very intentional with this in terms of making sure that we target youth-owned businesses and women-owned businesses to get opportunities.
To
partner
that's
with
good.
these big businesses to get them into the mainstream.
Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely.
Trust me on that one.
Absolutely.
Trust me on that one. And thank you so much for just taking us through what the Durban Chamber does. I always like to tell the story for my own business. The very first time that I managed an international conference in partnership with an established business. This was in 2005. It was called the World Chambers Congress, and the person who was the president of the chamber at that time was the late Princess Fiso Zulu. And Fiso, he was like, "Ayi, ngeke nje leyo nto bayenze engekho umuntu wesifazane omnyama who is going to be part of this event." And he gave me an opportunity in 2005, and I am always appreciative. I mention that all the time because I've never looked back. It was my first international conference as Econo Communications then. Now we are Econo Thrive Global, and I've never looked back. So I'm just trying to say that if you are not a member of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, you need to maybe reconsider because there will be opportunities, and really brilliant opportunities. I am a beneficiary of an opportunity that came from the chamber at that time. I also know that you've got an upcoming, we've missed these events. Nkosi yami, siyajabula kuza idina ye DCCI, the year-end dinner. Please tell us details about that.
So we're very excited about our annual gala dinner coming. It's going to take place on the 20th of September.
All right. Already, it's around the corner.
It's around the corner.
Okay.
In 2 days' time, actually. I think you start seeing the vibe about it in the next coming days.
Yes.
As we plan ahead before the dinner.
Yeah.
It's going to be at Moses Mabhida Stadium, right on the pitch.
Yeah, we've done those beautiful under the African sky.
Absolutely. The theme under the African sky.
Okay, see now.
It's going to be about 800 businesses
beautiful.
that are going to be, it's 800 people that will be hosted in the event. And we're really looking forward to hosting it. And we encourage all of your listeners and viewers to please buy tickets.
Yes, absolutely. I can already see it.
Buy a table or buy a seat to even invite your businesses. And one of the things that we're doing for our annual gala dinner is that, again, intentionally making sure that we bring in the informal sector.
Yes.
We've got a couple of tables, a couple of corporates have bought tables for, the informal
small
sector,
businesses.
the small businesses, to come and be part of the experience.
Because everyone must be part of the experience. If you are a business in a Tegwini area, you should be part of this experience. I would like to send a shout out to the corporates that have supported and sponsored those tables, because it's important for all the businesses to be part of the experience. I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely. And networking.
It's the key. If you are in business and you are not into networking, then you must think again. If you are in business, you have to network, because that's the way that you're going to be able to push yourself, to push your business to the next level. So networking is key for any business. It doesn't matter which sector that you play in. And in this particular dinner, there will be big corporates. And if you're a small business, upcoming, medium, you want to be there, because it's such an opportune, beautiful moment for networking and just also for enjoying. We need to enjoy better. Events are experiences.
There's going to be so much
We've
fun.
missed this in the past 2 years, so it's exciting.
Absolutely.
Okay, do you have a number that you can share where if they want or an email address?
So they can contact, email address is info@durbanchamber.co.za.
Okay.
Or they can call our offices,
All right.
011
Yes.
335 1000.
All right. Say the number again.
031
Yes.
335 1000.
031-335-1000. That is the number for the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industries. And also you can send an email to info@durbanchamber.co.za. The dinner is on the 20th of September. You don't want to miss out on that. Any other thing that you'd like to tell us about yourself as the spotlight is on you today, Ma'am Phil?
That I'm a proud mother. You know, I'm so blessed.
Yes.
So my 12-year-old son,
Yeah?
I'm so proud of him.
He
is currently the KZN champion, gold champion for under 12.
Yeah?
100 meters, he's
Oh.
the gold champion.
Wow.
And then from a country point of view,
Yeah?
he is the second fastest boy in the country. So he
Aibo.
went to national champions.
Wow.
And he got a silver medal.
Wow.
So I'm blessed. I'm
Yes,
proud.
yes. Isn't it beautiful when our children are excelling?
Absolutely.
It makes everything worth our while.
Absolutely. So even the working mom who sometimes is guilty,
Yeah?
you know, this thing for me also made me realize, again, coming back to saying I'm a wife and a mom first, priority.
Yes.
You know, I mean, when my son was running at a national level, even provincial level,
Yeah?
I had to take off everything,
Oh,
forget about everything, and be
yes,
there
and
to
be
support
there
him.
to support
So we
him.
always need to support our kids and encourage them, because then you get the good results out of them.
Yeah, we always have to support our kids and encourage them, because we get good results. First, a mother and a wife, and then, of course, a professional lady. This is very important for us to get the order correctly. It's very important for us to get the order correctly. Thank you so much for joining us on our Women Thrive series today, Sis Palesa, and we would like to wish you all the best of luck in all your future endeavors. And we always like to say, may God continue to bless you abundantly.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. And for yourself as well, as a Black woman-owned business, I also pray that God may continue to bless you abundantly coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic with the industry that you're in.
Yes.
It's very tough, and I pray that the opportunities open more for you.
I receive that in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much to Zulu Madam for dressing us in our beautiful kimonos. And of course, you can check the online shop for Zulu Madam, www.zulumadam.co.za. Madam ono e ekcineni. Igama lami nguZodwa Msimang KaNsibande signing off. Thank you so much to the team, Bosi Khumalo and Lungani Khumalo. You will catch me tomorrow on Vibe FM on Wednesdays every day. And every Wednesday at 9:40 on Vibe FM with our Thriving in Abundance talk. God bless Africa.